It's UVBOptionMillionaires.com on this August 27, 2017. It's a Sunday. Just want to go over some charts heading into the week. We have a lot of earnings still to get through, and we also have a lot going on, politically, globally. We have Hurricane Harvey. I mean, look at that footage down there in Houston. Just thoughts with the people down there. It's, you can fight this trend in this market, but you cannot fight Mother Nature. And so hopefully everybody makes it out safe. I could sit here and talk about that all night, but let's move on to the market. Of course, we have the debt ceiling. Is that going to get raised? Of course. Yeah, come on. And also the government shutdown. Remember, the government shutdown a couple of years ago. The market actually rallied during the shutdown. So, it's all this government shutdown. This could be the crack that finally takes the market down. This crack finally breaks the bubble. Just like the eclipse, right? The eclipse on Monday, we survived the eclipse. If you're listening or watching this, hopefully watching it because that means you didn't burn your eyes out. You survived the eclipse. And the market actually on Tuesday rallied. It cheered it. Hey, we survived. Everyone's alive. I just want to bring up this chart here, a one-year weekly chart for the S&P 500 ETF, the SPY. Look at this, 2 weeks in a row of downside, barely. I mean, that's pretty much the most you're going to get from this market. You saw it last week. We recovered the losses that we late in the week. Something else actually I wanted to bring up, but also wanted to just talk about 2 days in a row. It's tough to string together 3 weeks in a row, of downside. 3 weeks in a row over the last year. It just has not happened. And then on top of that, when we've had the 2 weeks to the downside, we've had a sharp reversal to the upside. So we only have one candle here from last week, the beginning of it. We could possibly see a move back up to the 24,750 level on the SPY. So yeah, again, two down candles, sharp reversal, two down candles, sharp reversal. Actually, the last two down candles led us to new all-time record highs. So, of course, pretty much every two down candles over the last 5 years has led us the market to new record highs. I mean, that's we've hit record highs, countless times. But I wanted to also bring up, hey, you know what we did survive as well? If you just want to bring up the last month, Thursday, right? We had so many nasty, terrible Thursdays. We survived. Yes, we survived. Last Thursday was not so bad. So the Thursday theme of market collapsing, it's done. It's done now. So it's the SP 500 ETF, the spiders. Look, we got a momentum buy signal, small caps, which led us out of the abyss back just before the election. Remember the election? We had 9 days down in a row for the SP 500 ETF. Well, we had 8 for the small caps. They were the first to go green, the very first to go green. And small caps, again, look at this. I brought this chart up last week. It started last week. If you go back, we'll go back for a 2-year chart. And again, we get these pullbacks. These pullbacks ultimately lead to higher prices. We had this nice pullback, starting to see it here. Again, small caps, buy signal here, momentum buy signal has led to significant upside after we've had really the sell signal for a while, just like we did heading into the election. Sharp reversal to the upside. So watch the small caps heading into this week. Also, S&P 500 buy signal. And look at the NASDAQ narrowing range here. Look at this wedge forming up here. Possible explosive action out of it. We'll see. But we didn't get into that momentum sell where we get the reversal for the NASDAQ, the QQQ. Something to keep an eye on. We have Amazon. Again, some of these tech charts actually look pretty bearish. If you pull up Amazon, head and shoulders pattern, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Coming up against long-term trendline support off the February lows. We break through that. Right at the 950 level, we've broken through, which was support. So this is, it looks kind of bearish. You look at Google also, possible gap fill. Look at this gap. We have gap. Coming down to bring us down to a 900 support here. So if you're looking, say, hey, well, I've got all this cash on the sidelines I'm looking to put to use, this would be a good place right here. If Google does continue to fall to the downside under 900 support, that'll be a great buy point to follow back to the middle of July, actually the end of June, the lows that we saw in 2016. So that's something Google, Netflix also starting to roll over, filled the earnings gap. Are we going to pull back a little further? Netflix and Facebook. So you know what? Facebook's actually got some sort of a bull flag going on there. Look at that. Flapping. Look, it's actually nice and flapping. So this is something, if you just gotta have FANG and you want to pick one, Facebook looks the most bullish here of the group, of the bunch. Apple. Did we close over 160? Oh, couldn't do it. Oh my goodness. Now look at this line here. Do you see this line here on the Apple? Go back. Back. 20-year chart for Apple. Look at this. We've had multiple legs to the upside. I even talked about this multiple leg action years in the past. So we're getting this here. up to the top side of it. Something to keep an eye on with Apple. I know it's going to 240. That's what Carl Icahn says, but it's having a tough time. And actually, the recent action up to record highs, it's had these really sharp price swings. It would get up to new record highs, they get swatted down $3 or $4. They get record highs $3 or $4. Actually, one of the moves up to record highs, then it saw a $7 reversal. So it's pretty volatile up here at the record highs. Here we hit it, boom, reverse, reverse, reverse. So look at this, 162 down to 155, 162 down to 155. So something to keep an eye again with Apple. Can't maintain that 160 level long term. You're going back. Of course, JB pointed out in his week ahead webinar about the buybacks. Something like 17%, Barron says, of the market cap has been bought back through buybacks, and Apple. I mean, gosh, their buyback program. It's they'd be a major economic power. I mean, they could start their own country, Apple. So. Buybacks and asset price manipulation, these corporations through via low interest rates and cheap debt, defies any chart pattern. I mean, that's basically how it's worked, right? Head and shoulders, fear not, buyback is coming. So anyway, just something to keep an eye on here with Apple. It has pulled back from this long-term resistance level. We can see if it maybe even just chop around. I mean, maybe just grind all the way, on a slow, steady path to upside. All right. Before I go on with that forever, let's just go over a couple other charts. We have BABA. Look at this chart just from a monthly basis. Each of the candles now this is a breakout, right? It's like little, big, bigger, big, Bobby, Bob. I mean, on this pace will be 200 next week, or this coming week. So BABA, and it's funny because you look at it, you're like, oh, this is the top here. This is a great opportunity to short. It's running out of momentum. And then it puts up another candle. These are the charts that just keep going. Everyone's like, wow, this gotta be it. This is the one. And then next week, it's up another $25. Baidu finally broke out of that wedge this year. Hello? I said it was going to break out of this wedge. No, I didn't actually. But I did say it was sporting a similar pattern. And it broke out the last time. It looked similar pattern. It faked me out. It really did. I mean, if there was the rope-a-dope, Baidu was up against the ropes, looked like it was going to break out, and then hammered me one. And then, of course, a month later, it decided to do this. It's what we call the Mikey candle at the Option Millionaires Job Room. And now if you look here in a shorter term time frame, that looks like a nice little bull flag, right? So we got the breakout, woof, consolidation, a little digestion there. Probably going to ramp to what? At least match the the record highs that we saw back in 2015. Draw the trend line across. So the price target for Baidu, possible long-term double top. Will the top be in? Will it be the Baidu top, not the Alibaba top? We'll see. But anyway, 250 is the target here. The question, just like with this wedge break, will be the timing of said move. Is it coming this week, next week, the following week? Another Chinese ADR that is heading up to previous highs. How about Sina? Baby, have you seen her? I had to work that out. 125 is the high, and you can see the chart pattern continues to move to the upside. We consolidate, move to the upside, so about 110, another move, and then possible double top here for Sina. All right, let's get into some earnings because we have Workday reporting earnings. This is another one. If you want to talk about possible moves to record highs, the 115, 116 level heading into earnings. So this would be something that's set up for new all-time record highs in earnings. Another one, Best Buy. Remember Best Buy? Kind of reminds me slightly. I shouldn't say because electronics is Best Buy and Macy's is this department store nobody goes to anymore. But needless to say, back at the end of 2012, it looked like the end was in, right? $10 a share. I mean, earnings were terrible. Look at it now. I mean, you go back to this 10-year chart. I mean, Best Buy looks like a stallion and a possible move to new all-time record highs here. I don't know. But something to watch here, at least in the short term. I mean, the analysts are absolutely giddy. They're obviously executing on every metric. I just wanted to say that. So Baidu is going to be tough. I mean, you look at a chart like that, it's breaking out. You think it's like, wow, retailers just sucked. Who's going to Best Buy? But it's not just look what Walmart's doing. The mobile sales. Something to keep an eye on would be that. So Best Buy. I mean, you look at it, the move up. You're like, wow, this is a $10 stock just a couple of years ago. Everything else is falling to pieces. But could just keep heading to the upside, just like BABA, right? A stock in motion tends to stay in motion. How about PanW? There was a tremendous move earlier this year to the downside after its earnings report. Look at this. Boom! I think we dropped for 153. It ended up trading to 118 the following day, and that was a Wednesday, and then it had 2 more days until expiration on those weekly options. It went down to like 112. So it started the week up at 153. That earnings week went down to 112. and then came down. And now look at it. It's back over support. You can almost take an eraser and just, hey, you know what, guys? Just forget it. This never happened, all right? And now we're setting up here with a wedge right at support. Could it break down? Absolutely. I mean, this could be the final straw. Maybe we get that bounce. We're back in, and it's like, hey, you know, let's start this one over again. We're right in a good spot. Maybe it'll break to 100, but I don't know. I just have this odd feeling it's going to break to the upside and completely baffle everyone. Baffling. So this might be a good strangle or straddle. Probably the strangle variety, but I'll let you know in the chat room at optionmillionaires.com. A couple other earnings reports. I believe Five Below reports earnings. Five Below. I don't know what this trend line is doing here, folks. This was probably from a while ago. I haven't actually pulled this chart up in a long time. So I probably pulled this up maybe in 2014. And that trend line is no longer relevant. But if you look, chopping up against the record highs, look at this, about 55 in 2013. Heavily shorted. This is a stock that investors have been betting against for quite a while. So as it sets up here with a nice bull flag, this could be another one like the Burl. The Burl, when I talk about Burlington Coat Factory, Five Below would be one that could possibly break higher after its earnings report. And if you want to pull up another one that's reporting earnings that could break higher, Dollar General, maybe 85, 90 here on earnings. That was something I'd be looking for. Calls, the big move. At least $1. No, just kidding. A couple other things. How about the auto parts? Off support here. AutoZone. A nice move off support for AutoZone. Some of these auto parts stores. Look at AAP breaking down. Also look at, how about Toyota Motors? Possible topping pattern here for Toyota. Some of the car makers, car dealers, Ford Motors. How about Government Motors, right? Actually, this chart doesn't look so bad on Government Motors. How about some of the airlines? Woof! Tumble! But if you look at a short term, possibly oversold here. Some of the airlines got a nice bounce at the end of last week, right? We love the bounces. So again, support for some of these stocks remains strong. We'll possibly see a fill in a gap here for love. All right, UPB option millionaires.com. I'll see you in the chat room. Let's just look real quick at S&P 500 futures. We are flat. Go figure. Also, let's look at crude oil because a lot of refiners are shut down. Last I looked, look at it. You would think they're like, oh, well, I think a lot of the refineries, it's not as much of an oil thing, but we'll see. We'll see how this pans out. All right, UPB option millionaires.com. Everyone have a great evening. See you in the chat room tomorrow. Bye.